Hi. Sometimes what happens, the solutions are right in front of us for a particular problem and we just don't apply it. Or people who are observing from a distance, they feel, why is that particular solution not uh, applied? This is pretty much what I felt when when I read about the wage goods theory. I'll tell you what it is. But first, I need to tell you that what good came out of the COVID lockdown, which is a hard thing to digest because not many good things came out of it, and it was a very tough period. However, a positive person also always, no matter what, would not budge from the positivity and always tries to question himself, her or herself, what could be the good hidden in the whole affair. So what I could draw on, and I'm sure many of you may have, on the economic front, was that no matter which class you belong to, no matter which country you belong to, your primary need was essentials. Food, then fast moving consumer goods, the FMCG products, and then after a while when your clothes and your shoes got worn out, you started ordering them as well, mostly online. So now we know what are the commodities that will never let you down. All developing countries and underdeveloped countries and even developed countries, when they are facing lack in the aggregate demand or low economic activity, immediately they should resort to increasing the aggregate autonomous expenditure. That is, they should make people spend on commodities that are used or that can be categorized as essentials. They should really put a lot of stress on it. So what if a developing or an underdeveloped country puts a lot of stress on developing their essential commodities or wage good commodities? The prices of those commodities come down because the production increases, because obviously the policies and the conducive environment makes that possible. So when the prices comes down, its demand goes up, not just in the indigenous market but also the exports. So you end up earning. This was a model that was suggested by Brahmanandan Vakil soon after our independence, India's independence, but then it wasn't. This model was ignored at that time because Mahalnobis-nehru model was invest in heavy industries. Now that did not quite work out. This but that model, because for heavy industries you have to continuously pump in a lot of investment, and after a lot of time, if you have extra, if the economy is doing well enough, then there is good demand for it. So you can't bank on the demand for investment goods, but you can bank on the demand for the autonomous, for the essentials, for the wage goods. So the stress should always be laid on increasing the autonomous expenditure, not just of an individual but also of the government. The government is also, no matter what, has to spend on certain goods, the public goods, like the public utility items, roads and lights that are there on the roads, the traffic lights, all these infrastructure. You get it right. Hospitals. Yes, I mean, these are the things that government cannot. Health, of course, health you cannot ignore at any given point. Education, literacy, skill development, so on and so forth. So it's just not it's just not the individual's effort in buying more of essentials, but also the government should increase its expenditure on autonomous goods. So how can an individual increase their autonomous consumption? The policymakers could toy with the idea of forced saving. Because if you are forced to save a certain amount, the rest you would like to spend more on autonomous goods rather than sorry, more on essentials, which comes into autonomous consumption, than anything else. But then forced saving is not very successful. It wasn't in Russia. Then you can increase the tax so that whatever money is left is spent on essentials. mm, but that may contract the economy quite a bit. So the whole idea could be, it would not contract the economy if the tax money is spent in generating more employment by the government. So the if the taxes are increased, the public spending has to increase, and then people who are salaried will spend more on autonomous goods, and people who don't have jobs will get jobs through government spending, and they will spend on autonomous goods. So tax hike plus increase in government spending. Now, there was a theory, for those of you in economics. Romer had come out with that theory, and it has been proven right time and again, that all those countries who have a good spending on social issues, social welfare, social spending, head of public spending, they have done exceptionally well. Uh, which means, if the government spending, the all those spendings that government is forced to make, no matter what, if they divert it to an extent in welfare activities, it has a great effect on public welfare. So for a lot of countries that are doing okay on economic front, their social spending, that is on welfare activities, is around 30%, 25%, and India it is 1.5%. On defense it is 5.6%. So maybe, since it's out there, it is such an easy strategy. Maybe divert a little spending towards the welfare, creating a welfare state, rather than trying to be hardcore businessmen, increasing the price of petrol when it has nosedived. The price has nosedived elsewhere. I'm talking about the petrol prices. Everywhere, most of the places, it has come down, the prices, which has helped in controlling inflation in the country. And on the other hand, in our country, it has increased quite a bit. There has been a considerable price rise in the petrol price. Okay. So if I were to sum it up, I would say that I would love to see more emphasis on autonomous consumption, um, by building on wage goods. Once before in the history, we had adopted this model when the result were really superb, like when we mechanized agriculture during green revolution, then during milk revolution, that is the white revolution, then yellow revolution, which is promoting the production of pulses. That did not quite do well. So now it's the time to go a step further by building wage goods in the processing sector. This will not only better the quality, but also exports and indigenous demands. So this was first point. The second point is that the government should also maybe divert its social spending more into uh, public welfare activities, because it's dismal. It is dismal in India. If you don't build your human capital, they are not going to be productive. This is what it is. This is pretty much it. Bye.